it just took so long and it was so frustrating and it drove me nuts because I'm like, when is this gonna end? I would have been done with this an hour and a half ago. What are you doing?
It's LeahMouseVlog, LeahMouseVlog, it's LeahMouse's vlog.
Hey guys, what's up? How you doing? What's going down? What's this way? What's that way? What's up? What's down? It's basically what I just said. Like my Jurassic Park t-shirt? Yeah. I painted my nails Halloween colors. I was bored. Watson chose exactly this moment to start digging up the carpet. Thank you. Today I decided to do something a little bit different. I'm gonna do a reaction video, and I know I recently did one of these, but it was different. It was like a trial run reaction video. It wasn't a really one, like a really one. A really one. It wasn't a really one. No, I'm gonna do a reaction video because I, recently found out about my autism and stuff, and I told you guys that I'd be making some videos about this. So if this is not your area of interest, feel free to click away and go find something else to do. Catch up on the tea with Trisha Paytas's baby and report back. But if this is something that you are interested in like the autism topic or neurodivergent topic in general, then stick around. I think we're all gonna really enjoy this. I found this channel during like my continued autism research. It's Hunter Hansen, The Life Autistic, and maybe you've heard of him, maybe you haven't. It's a smaller channel, but I mean, he gets substantial views and he talks about like all these different things that go into being autistic and what it means and how we feel versus how other people feel, and it's like really relatable, and I'm finding it highly enjoyable and comforting. Makes me feel, yeah, less alone, like, somebody understands me, specifically. And what irritates me the most though about these types of videos is that I want other people to watch them, not just the people who are autistic or are already interested in it or know something about it. I want everyone who has ever encountered me in a specific scenario and thought it was weird or rude or otherwise, some kind of awkward. I want them to see these videos so that they can be like, oh, so that's what's going on with you. I understand it better now. I'm glad that I have this knowledge and information. But of course, those people never do. But anyway, we're gonna watch this video today together, or at least portions of it, and I'm gonna react to it and see how well all this lines up. It's called the Top 20 Most Annoying Things for Autistic People.
Today we're gonna talk about a top 20, the things that secretly annoy autistic people the most. Number 20 is foods and things relating to food, eating, sensitivities, intolerance, spice levels.
This is so true. Like, he hasn't even like elaborated on this yet, but oh my gosh, like me with the food thing. I have such a specific food specification, I guess, when it comes to eating. Like, people just always be like, oh, you're a picky eater. Or like, I'm well, I'm not a picky eater. I just know what I like, and and I know what I'm in the mood for, and I know what I want, and if it's not like exactly that, it's not gonna sit right. Like, if I'm craving chicken and someone gives me a plate of spaghetti, even though I love spaghetti, if I'm craving chicken and I get spaghetti instead, I don't like it. I get upset inside. So let's just hear kind of like the rest of what his elaboration is.
For me, it is mildly annoying when I find limitations in available things to eat. Sometimes I get really stuck into a routine and fixate on a couple different foods, and when they're not available, it's kind of annoying. Sometimes it's the process of eating. Like, if it's too hot, I don't like eating. I mean, I have to. I do train. I mean, I gotta eat, or else I get really cranky and then I get migraine.
Yeah, that's totally the thing with me. Like, I have to have things specifically how I want them. Like, everybody gives me grief about liking my steaks well done. I have to have well done steak or I won't eat it. It grosses me out. I can't. If there's even a little bit of pink, I freak out. And I'm like, nope, it has to be well done. And everybody tells me, oh, but you're ruining the flavor. You can't have the flavor if it's well done. This is the worst way to eat this. You're ruining it. It's like, okay, well, it's an option. That's my preference. Do it. Okay, I will sit here for an hour and a half if I have to wait for a well-done steak, but that is exactly what I want, and I will accept nothing else. Okay, moving on.
Number 19, I'm going to preface a little bit here, but it's about slow walking and slow talking. I understand that not everybody is going to speak at like a super rapid pace like I do. That's just me. That's just others. Not everybody just has that kind of rapid communication style. Physically speaking, not everybody walks like they're racing or speed walking to get somewhere like I do.
That is so true. Like, I don't necessarily talk super fast, but I mean, like, you've seen my videos, I digress a lot and I go off tangent, but like when I'm interacting one-on-one with a human, like, I get to the point quickly because I know what I'm going for and I don't side ramble. The side rambles are fine for videos because this is a casual... Geez, Watson. This is a casual environment. It's not a one-on-one interaction that, we're working together to get to a certain conversational point or whatever. Like, a YouTube video is just content. I just kind of let myself go, with that. But like, yeah, person to person, when somebody is so slow and they beat around the bush, yeah, that just drives me nuts. I'm like, get to the point. And the slow walking thing too. Oh my God, that absolutely drives me insane. Like at the grocery store. Oh my God. JJ's the same way though. He hates slow walkers too, because he and I are both very goal-oriented, driven, get to where we're going. We have a goal, we have a task, we know where we're headed, and we just know what we're doing, and we just go pew, pew, pew. That's probably why we get mistaken for employees a lot of time, because we walk with purpose, right? Yeah, we'll get behind these dumpy people who are just like la-di-da-di-da-di-da taking their time and don't know what's going on and just sauntering along. And I've gotten to the point of when we get stuck behind these people, I'll just look at him and go boom, ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-da-da-da-dum, ba-dum, and it kind of makes us laugh. But yeah, that's super annoying. I totally get that.
I just want to know what you're trying to tell me so we can move on, keep the conversation going, and move to the next thing. Same thing with walking, especially if you are in the way. When I can't walk quickly, I walk off to the side. I stay out. I don't want to be a burden to others. So grocery shopping can be a chore when I'm in an elephant race between two grocery cart pushers who I just can't get around. Number 18. All right, so number 18 is going to be machinery noises and machinery noises and things like this. I've gotten a lot of feedback from other autistic people that these can be like super grating and annoying.
Machinery, more like if it's clanky. I don't mind like a hum, like just sort of an ambient white noise hum thing, like a din. I don't really mind that. I tend to notice rhythms. I don't know if y'all are like this, but I notice rhythms. Like with the dishwasher, specifically. I like the dishwasher. I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, it doesn't bother me, like the sound, because I hear a pulsing rhythm and it's repetitive, which I like. I like that very much. It's just like, you know what I mean? Like, it's something that I can follow and predict. More importantly, I can predict it, and I think that's why I like it. On the opposite side of that, car alarms are, I hate car alarms so much. Like, there was one actually going off not too long ago, far away, but I had the window open, but I could just hear it, bam, 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 and I was like, oh my God. Like, it was just driving me nuts. Like, even though it's a pattern, even though it's predictable, I know the bam is coming after the bam. I don't know when it's gonna end or if it's gonna start up again. It's like that unpredictability part of that, you know what I mean? Like the dishwasher cycle, I set it, I know how long it goes, I can walk away from it if it bothers me. It's containable and controllable to a degree, but car alarms, oh, it always just makes me wanna like run to the owner of the car and just like shake them and be like, make it stop! Like there are certain sounds that just kind of send me into like insta rage. It's weird. I don't know if that's what he's talking about, but that's my own experience with sounds. I'm not cool with loud interrupty sounds like lawnmowers, chainsaws. Those drive me nuts too. And those are unpredictable and I don't know when they're gonna stop. And it's normally when I'm trying to take a nap. So thank you, Sim Controller, for always lining that up perfectly.
So, number 17. All right, number 17, you're going to notice that this is a little bit synonymous with my next point, number 16. Number 17 in particular is the process of lines and cues. So, although number 16 does cover a very different aspect of it, I want to focus in on the specifics of like a line and a cue that you can see. What makes this secretly annoying for us is that it layers on the different levels of unpredictability. Like, we don't know how long this next person's going to take.
Yes. Yes. That's basically all I have to say. Yes. 100%.
Number Number 16 is when things take longer than they should. It's funny how this only works in like one sense, to where if it takes half the time, I'm happy to get that back. But it is extremely, secretly very annoying to autistic people. This comes down to how we plan, we predicate, we anticipate tasks to take a certain amount of time, or events to take a certain amount of time.
Yes, this was a huge problem in my last job, the toxic one that I left, you know. Huge problem, because like I had my own specific system and my own specific routine for getting the job done. Like I had it down. I had my own thing to be as maximizing my time efficiency as possible. It became a problem whenever I would have to like go help out my boss doing the same job but at a different location, and so it was the two of us, and it drove me nuts because like the work that he had left to me would have been a 15-minute job, just because of the efficiency system that I had in place that made it work for me. This is why I've always been really, really fast at jobs, just because I look at it, I kind of do like this data processing thing where my eyes roll back in my head and, you know, like calculate numbers and steam comes out of my ears and stuff. And I calculate the most efficient method of doing something so that it is maximizing productivity, first of all, and minimizing time without cutting corners or sacrificing quality. You know, it's like, it's just something I'm naturally really, really good at. That's why I can do so many things with seemingly no time, because I can condense it into a very efficient nugget of space and it works out. So when I would have to go help my boss with the same friggin' tasks that I've been doing all day, to me it's a 15-minute job, and he was so inefficient. It would take like 2 hours just because he just did things so clumsily and inefficiently. It wasn't even like he was slow. Like, we work at the same pace. It was just he had no method. He had no on paper plan. It was just like, I wish I could tell you what it was. I still don't want to tell you where I worked, but like, just the system I had in place would hit all the points so that I wouldn't have to backtrack. And like, I just go, okay, I have to go here, 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 and here. So I'm gonna do this, grab this, and just go here, 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 and I'm done. And he would, and probably still does, do this thing where he would go here, realize he needs something, go back, come back, go here, get something, go back, come back, go back here, go back, come back, go here. And he would hopscotch around and he would send me running all over the place, like, go grab this, go grab that. I'm like, if you knew I needed to grab multiple things, why didn't you send me for all of them on the same trip? Why do you keep sending me several times for different things and bouncing around all over the place? And it just took so long, and it was so frustrating, and it drove me nuts because I'm like, when is this gonna end? I would have been done with this an hour and a half ago. What are you doing? So yeah, that is definitely oh, the end point. Oh, the end point. And not being able to anticipate how slowly or quickly other people are gonna go drives me nuts.
It takes longer than expected. It's going well over budget. So it's almost like when you queue up a movie and you see how long the movie's going to last, and you know, I'm gonna be committed to Avengers Endgame for 5 hours and 26 minutes. So when it goes on for 7 hours and 58 minutes, obviously there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, I do that too, actually. I know that was just an analogy, but literally I do look at the timestamps for movies. When JJ picks a movie for us that I haven't seen yet, I make sure to pull it up and look at the end. I'm like, okay, this is 2.5 hours long. Got it. Because sometimes when I don't do that and we're sitting there, I'm like, how fucking long is this movie? Like, are we ever going to be leaving the house ever again? Or are we just gonna be sitting here eternally watching this movie? Scarface is really long, and I did not know that, and he did not warn me, and I didn't look ahead of time, and I couldn't see the timestamp because it was a Blu-ray. I had no idea, and we were sitting there for what felt like forever, and I just kept checking my clock. I'm like, is this movie ever going to be over? Like, how long is this thing? Yeah, that was always a problem when JJ wanted to go out and socialize, and I would go with him, and he would just give me like a vague, oh, we won't stay too long thing. And I'm like, okay, that's not enough. Like, how long is not too long? Like, are we talking 15 minutes? Because that's my not too long. And he'd be like, oh, I don't know, 15 minutes, half an hour, something. I'm like, okay. So then I would have 15 minutes minimum, half an hour maximum in my head as the bracketed time. So half an hour would come and I'd go, okay, it's been a half an hour, time to go. And he's just like, well, no, I'm not ready to go yet. And I'm like, but you said. then I have no idea, like, because there's an explosion of, well, now I have no endpoint because we've exceeded the endpoint that was anticipated. Now I really don't know how long we're gonna be here, and I can't handle that. And by the way, it would end up turning into like 3 hours, and it was just so miserable, so miserable. I am so glad he doesn't go out anymore. Oh my God, and that had nothing to do with me. That was his own choice. I'm just grateful for it. But anyway, yeah, that was always kind of a problem. Like, ugh. So I totally get this.
It completely shatters the time frame that you had set for it. So that's like one of those low-key annoying things for us. It does annoy us in secret. So things taking longer than they should, exceeding the boundaries we set. All right, 15, and I'm not going to demo this, but violent, interrupting, loud noises. These can startle most people, but when you're autistic, it's a super secret triggering annoyance because that startle has long, lingering echoes and really just throws you completely out of whack.
That's what I was talking about with the car alarm. Okay, I didn't realize that was like a separate category. The car alarm, like the initial burnt is the startling thing, but the fact that it keeps going, it's just like a jab in the ribs over and over and over and over, and I can't stand it. But like the ones that he's talking about, the sudden jarring noises, door knocking and the doorbell, those are two huge ones for me. I absolutely can't stand it when I'm just sitting there in a peaceful environment and all of a sudden on the door. That's what happens. It feels like my soul leaves my body for a minute, you know, and it shakes me and has me like a little nervous, anxious thing for like 20 minutes or something afterwards. It's ridiculous. And doorbells are the same way. And it's like kind of a double whammy because not only is it a sudden loud sound in the middle of nothingness, but what that sound means is even more terrifying because it means there is another human at my door whom I was not expecting. Who is it? Why are they here? I wasn't expecting you. I am not prepared. What is going on? And it's like this frazzle, explosion of anxiety. So it's a combination of the two, the sound and what the sound means. Yeah, other loud sounds freak me out too. JJ's a loud person. We come to terms with it though. I mean, it's fine. I can't change who I am. I don't want him to change who he is. We just sort of adapt. But he does loud, sudden things. He's a very sudden, loud person. He's really quiet when it comes to speaking, which I appreciate. I can't always hear him, but I appreciate that. But like when he's just living his life, I'm really, really quiet because I don't want to accidentally trigger myself with a sudden sound. I don't like those things. So like when I'm handling dishes, I set everything down very gently. I close doors very gently. You know, I do everything gently so that it doesn't make a sound. He comes up in here and he needs ice for his iced coffee. So he grabs the ice bag out of the fridge and just goes BAM! And just drops it on the floor. And I'm like, or he's doing dishes and he will clatter them around. Plastic bottle needs to go in the recycling. You know, just crush it out of nowhere. And like, yeah, he does stuff like that all the time. And I'm not faulting the guy. I'm not complaining about it. A lot of people do that. They don't even think about it. It's fine. Whew, but it gets me and I don't like it. Oh, that's one of the things that's, you know, challenging about living with a neurotypical person as a neurodivergent is the sound thing, because I don't want to ask him to change his behaviors and change just for me. Like, that's a little unreasonable. You know, I can deal with it. In my heart and soul, I know that he's not gonna hurt me. He's the source of the sound. I have nothing to be scared of, so I can sort of calm the ripple a little bit that the sound caused. Like, no, I can't make it go away entirely, but I can just be like, listen, he was just dropping the ice on the floor to break it apart to put it into his coffee. It's not a big deal. Like, chill. I can sort of talk myself out of it, so it's not that big of a deal. La, 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 la. I'm yammering. Okay, let's get back to this.
It's like a jump scare, only that jump scare effect lasts for like the entire movie. Number 14, I don't like this one. It is also very gratingly and slightly and low-key. It's just annoying, but it's this indirect feedback or a white lie where you know it's a little bit dismissive. Hey, you did fine. Hey, you look good. Hey, that'll work. As much as I might be irked by understanding that it's not fine, I'm not doing okay, and that it could be better, you should just tell me, because I'm going to feel really bad, and I also suspect that you're probably being disingenuous if you dismiss it. You need to say, hey, it was this time and you said this and this person received it this way. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts?
Yes, that's sort of what I was talking about. I mean, not specific like example terms or whatever, but in that pajama talk video I did about the friendships and stuff. Be direct, be upfront, be forthright, be honest. Just say it. This vague thing, the little white lies, the polite dancing around it shit. We do not absorb that the way that other people do, and we aren't gonna play along with the civil game. Like, we want the exact direct, like, we're not gonna know what you're talking about unless you tell us what you're talking about. Really literal. You have to specifically break it down. Exactly. Even like, I mean, this isn't related to like that exactly, like criticisms or whatever, but like directions. JJ was walking me through cooking something the other day because we were cooking something together and I had to do my part of it and he was doing his part of it. I didn't know how to do my part of it. I'm like, you're gonna have to talk me through this. And remember, you have to be really specific. And if he's really good at that too. He's really good at that. So I give him much praise for being extremely specific with me now that he understands that's how I operate and that's what I need. But sometimes he'll slip and just say something that's normal, but I don't process it right. He'll just say, now put it in the thing. And I'm like, put what in the what? Like, you need to specifically, like, am I putting the beef in there? Am I putting the vegetables in there? And what's there? The skillet, the bowl, like, what am I doing? I mean, it's not that vague, but like, he'll just use like a pronoun like in there, you know, instead of like the bowl, in the bowl, you know. Let's continue.
This next 13 must be crazy. So, all right, let's get to number 13 then. All right, 13 is when we're blocked out of a conversation. There are times when I get stuck at social events, or some of you do too, and you know how it goes. The conversational circle forms around you and it's keeping you out. Or it's a bunch of people talking and you're smack dab right in the middle and the conversations are just places that you can't jump into.
Seriously, okay, this is where, Watson has joined me by the way, this is where I've been accused of being rude the most when it comes to group conversations. People think I'm rude because I just sit there. And I'm like, I mean, can you literally, if we were tape recording this situation here for the last like 20 minutes, if you watch it back, seriously, point out, pause, circle it with a freaking highlighter or Sharpie or something, the exact moment where I actually could have jumped in. Because there wasn't one. There wasn't a gap. I am not down for just interrupting someone in the middle of their train of thought just to like say, like, it just doesn't work that way. I don't know how neurotypicals do that, like the back and forth conversation. I've observed it, I've seen it, because the conversation circle will be happening around me, not including me, but including everybody else, and I'll notice it. It's like they give each other pauses and breaks, and it's like they mentally look around at each other and they know when their turn comes, and they do it, and they just do it, and I'm like, sitting there waiting for someone to look at me, and no one looks at me. I'm looking at everybody else like, you know, like, I don't get it. Like, how do y'all do that weird, like, mind hive communication of, you know when to take turns in a conversation, but somehow I'm always the one who isn't included in that? I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know. That's just a spooky thing that happens with autistics, I guess, because it's like we're not included. It's like they know. It's like they know our brains are different, so we're not allowed in the cool kids club. We're not allowed in the neurotypical club. Your brain is weird. Stay over there.
Number 12 is going to surprise you. It's when we're not invited to things. Most people assume that by dint of my...
I already know what he's gonna say. I already know what he's gonna say. I guarantee I know what he's gonna say. People assume we don't want to be invited because we don't like social stuff. So they don't even bother inviting us. They assume we don't want to be there, so they don't even invite us. Instead of leaving the decision up to us. Being invited is nice, but if I don't want to go, that's my decision, not yours. I literally have this conversation like twice a week with my mom because she understands, because we both get excluded from so many things. People don't even invite us in the first place, and then when we find out about it, they'll be like, well, I figured you didn't want to come. I'm like, you figured, did you? Like, you know, you might be right, but that's not your decision to make. That's my decision to make for me. I'd like to be included and invited. Extending the invitation is a nice thing to do. It makes me feel like I'm valued to you. And if I decide not to come, that's on me. You don't get to decide that for me by not even giving me the option. Okay, that is a whole other rant that I could easily just get into right now, but I guarantee that's what he's about to say.
grouchy, curmudgeonly nature and my autism and other social awkwardness that I want no part in social events. Y'all, I want to decide what I attend and what I don't attend. So when I'm not invited, I'm not happy. When I'm excluded by dint of your decision and not mine, I'm really not cool with that. And most other people aren't as well. We deserve the liberty to say no. I'd rather be invited. It's nice to be thought of. Maybe I'll relent and show up to your birthday party. I don't want to be pressured into it, which we're going to cover in a later point, but I also want to be invited and feel like I have a choice. I feel welcome. I don't want to feel unwelcome just because of what you assume about me.
I told you, I totally called it. I totally called it. Okay, so that is apparently an autism thing. Because, oh my God, so relatable. Okay, let's keep moving.
Number 11 is inflexible temperatures. I am probably going to assume that not all autistic people are like me, but some very much are. Temperature is a sensory trigger, and there's a fine line between, okay, I'm quite comfortable to I'm really cold and I'm freaking out and I'm really hot and I'm going to panic. I'm definitely on this side of hot. Some like it hot, Hunter does not.
Exactly. That's exactly how my thing. Some like it hot, Leah does not. Yeah, heat, I panic in heat. I can't do heat. If I feel myself getting a little bit too hot and the sun is out, I'm sweating, it's just too bright, you know, something like that, I will start to panic. I'm like, I have to get into air conditioning right now. Like, I need water, I need hydration, I need a fan, I need air conditioning, I need to be naked, I need to get out of this situation. Like, I totally panic when it comes to heat. I can't do it. So summer with a guy who loves summer and loves outdoor summer activities, also a challenge, but we've made it work and it's fine. But yeah, totally can relate to that. See, now I had no idea. I really had no idea that was an autistic thing. I thought it was just because I was so German and I never went outside as a child and got acclimated to warm weather. I had no idea. I mean, it could be part of it. I don't know. But yeah, I had no clue that was related to autism. All right, well, this has gone on for extremely long because, you know, reaction videos tend to be that way with all the back and forth and everything. The original video is 26 minutes long. So with my reaction, it's gonna be longer. So we're gonna split this up into 2 parts. We'll do the top 10 in another video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for hanging out. Leave me all your thoughts and comments below. Do these things relate to you as well? How many of these can you identify with? Because so far, we've ticked all 10 out of 10 for me. So yeah. So join me next time for part 2. I'm sure that they're going to be even more relatable because it is the top 10. So let me know if you want to see more videos like this too. I kind of like this reaction video thing. I could get used to it. I feel like Daz or Cinematoast Ken or Felix or whoever else does reaction videos. I don't know. So thanks for watching. Be sure to check out part 2 when it comes out if you're interested. Don't forget to watch out for the sheep. Vlog phrase of the day is car alarms suck. I'll see you next time. Okay, bye.